My ex-husband refused to let me take our kids to the movies, brought his fiancée's son to my house to use the bathroom, and tried to trap me into coming inside his home. Then he pulled a stunt at his wedding that ended with the police, and the judge finally took my side. Our custody arrangement is for each of us to pick the kids up on our day during our 2-hour pickup window. He arrived at the house, and I already had the boys ready. I saw his car pull into the driveway on my camera, so the boys were already halfway to the door when my ex knocks. I open the door, and he is holding the hand of a 4-year-old. He asks to come in and says his fiancée's son needs to use the bathroom. I told him I don't want him to come inside because I don't feel comfortable with him in my house. He has a history of snooping through my things. He asked me to take his future stepson to the bathroom, and I said I was uncomfortable with the situation. He said his stepson needed to pee. I suggested the McDonald's up the road. He said my bathroom would be way cleaner than a McDonald's. At this point, my 11-year-old started pestering his dad to stop so they could leave. My ex said, "Your brother needs to use the bathroom." My son said, "I'll take him." My ex said, "No. Your mother would rather he pee his pants. We'll go, and hopefully we'll get to the McDonald's in time." My ex and the boys left. He messaged me afterwards saying I was cruel to a child to punish him, and that's not okay. He said I made us both look bad in front of our kids and should be embarrassed of my actions. I have been fighting with him for so long, my perspective is screwed up. Was I in the wrong? Comments. Commenter NTA. He wanted to snoop. This was obvious after he rejected your son's offer to take the kid to the bathroom. Sneaky, isn't he? OOP. Always has been. He's an intelligent man. Commenter duh. Okay. So I like to ask my husband these scenarios and get his 2 cents. He seems to think, because you have stated you've had multiple problems with the ex, that this was more about control. He wanted you to do what he said. Was the boy hurting and crying because he had to go? If not, my spouse thinks it was a power play by your ex. If it were me, I would have asked my son to take him and told the ex to go wait in his car. But if this douche just liked to jerk you around, then NTA. OOP, he was holding my ex's hand and kind of looking around. He didn't say anything. Update 1. I did talk to my lawyer about what happened. He said we can address it at the hearing we already have scheduled about the movie situation. I thought that was that. But of course it was my turn to pick up the kids today. When I arrived at my ex's place, he opened the door very wide and invited me in. I was suspicious and said no thank you. He kept insisting I come in so we can show the kids we are civil, but I had a bad feeling. I said I would just wait in the car for the boys to come out. I got in my car and texted my older son that I was there. A short while later, he texted me back saying his dad said they couldn't leave unless I got them. I went back to the door and knocked again. Again, my ex invited me inside. I said I didn't want to come in, and that was when my boys showed up. My ex's fiancée was right behind them, telling them to come back upstairs. They ran to me, and we left. I don't know what his game is, but I'm not falling for it, whatever it is. Comments. Commenter what's the movie situation? OOP, I had plans to take the boys to the movies, and he wanted me to not take them so he could take them during his custody time. I let them decide, and they wanted to go on opening day, my custody time. I took them. He's saying I shouldn't be able to take them to a movie he specifically told me not to take them to. I think that only applies when it's a movie he doesn't want them to see at all. Not one he is okay with them seeing, but merely wants to take them to himself. Commenter 2. He has no right to tell you what to do and what the kids go to watch when you have them. He's no longer your husband. He doesn't own the kids either. Please consider only talking with him over app, and only about essential things for kids. It's not essential for him to know what movies you see with your own children. OOP. Our son told him we were going to watch the movie, not me. He was excited about it, so he told his dad. Commenter 3. I'm sure there is a good reason you left him, and not spending time with him was the desired outcome. OOP. You want to know something funny? Spending time with him was the best part. It was everything else that sucked. I had no privacy. He went through my phone and computer almost every night. If I asked to use my phone while he was going through it, I was hiding something. He would dig through the drawers looking for hidden stuff and mess everything up. And if I complained, he would do it again, because there must have been something there if I was complaining. I had to account for every penny I spent, every moment I wasn't being productive. When we were doing things together, he was so charming, funny, and sweet. He's so handsome and smart and fit. But it got to the point where I was scared whenever he wasn't around, because I couldn't trust myself to make decisions without his approval. I was becoming a shell of myself. Update 2. Just concluded our hearing, and it went okay. all things considered. Judge said that neither of us need the permission of the other to take the children to age-appropriate experiences like movies. He told X not to tell me I can't take the kids to do certain things because he wants to do them. If he wants to do them, he can. But so can I. So that was a win. Judge was annoyed that there was another drop-off issue. He was especially annoyed because the reason he gave my ex a 2-hour window for drop-offs was because he said he needed the flexibility since he is a caretaker of his fiancée's children. If he's taking them with him to drop-offs, why does he need 2 hours? Judge told him, do not take his fiancée's children to my house, and do not ask to come inside my house. He told me not to ask to go inside his house either. He also told me not to rush my ex and to be patient and allow the children time to come to the door. I wasn't rushing him, but I didn't say that to the judge. I just agreed. X also dropped the bombshell that the week of the wedding he needs me to pick the kids up from the resort the wedding is at instead of his house because they are going on their honeymoon straight from the resort and not returning home. I am very uncomfortable with this, and my lawyer said that is too much of a burden to put on me. The judge disagreed with my lawyer and said we all have to be flexible sometimes. So I am stuck doing that. I feel like he intentionally started fights about the previous 2 issues he knew he would lose on, so the judge would side with him on the final issue to make things fair. Maybe I'm just paranoid, so 2 wins and a loss. Hopefully they'll be too happy about being married to pull any stunts. Comments. Commenter, I know it sucks that you have to drive to get them, but this is great news about the rest. He has additional rules that stick forever while you are only inconvenienced once. If you could only win on 2, I'm glad it was the 2 you got. OOP, you are correct. I feel good about that, even though I am incredibly stressed out. I am worried he is going to try to trick me into doing or saying something that can be perceived as hostile and tell the judge I sabotaged his wedding. Commenter do. Also, have the friend record any interactions you have with anyone associated with him. Make sure to communicate with text as much as possible. Having dealt with an ex like him, it helps to think of all the ways he could push your buttons and how you can respond with grace and kindness. He is going to do what he can to make you look crazy in front of everyone. Don't let him. However, keep in mind that it does not really matter what his family and friends think about you. I mean, how pathetic that you are even a consideration on his wedding day. What matters is that you have receipts and that you behave in a way that is above reproach. Also that your kiddos see you acting with grace and kindness even when their dad is being an ass. Obviously, he will lie about the pickup time. He will want you to witness how beautiful the wedding is and how happy they are. Or tell everyone how you crashed the wedding and are being unreasonable about the time wanting to ruin their day. Lying about when they are leaving for the honeymoon. Either you will be late to pick up the kids because you want to ruin everything for them, or they will be leaving way later than he says, which he can spin in the same way. He may even lie to his family about you insisting on picking them up so that you can insert yourself into his wedding day. Bonus for him, if he can cost you time and money. Set yourself up for success. Your first concern is your kiddos' well-being. Do think of it as an opportunity to take a mini break with a friend and then kiddos after the wedding. Maybe don't stay at the same place, but do stay near there so you can be flexible about picking them up without seeming to hover. Make sure you book it for 2 nights so that if he keeps putting off the pickup until late at night, you have a place nearby without having to drive forever to get the kiddos to bed. Maybe even stay a 3rd night so that you can spend the next day with the kiddos doing fun stuff in the area. Check with the hotel about the times of the wedding and reception to check against what her is telling you. See if there is a place where you can sit at a bar or in a garden so that you can wait things out in an out-of-the-way place after he tries to switch things up, or know what is in the area so you have something to do while waiting, but are nearby. Be flexible, but only to a certain degree. For instance, if you find out his parents really wanted to keep the kiddos with them, let them. Bring the extra clothes you brought for them. Tell them you were not informed, but think it is a wonderful opportunity for them to spend time with the grandkids. You know him better than anyone. Use that knowledge to stay a couple steps ahead. You don't want to hurt him, but you do need to protect yourself and your kiddos. OOP. That all sounds, I don't even know. It never occurred to me that he would lie about what time the wedding is. Even thinking about it is giving me a headache. Update 3. Well, I thought I would update everyone on what happened when I picked my kids up from my ex-husband's wedding. First of all, I got there at 8:20. As soon as I arrived, I texted my ex and my older son that I was there. Then I walked into the lobby. I checked my phone and had no response from either. I waited until 8:40 and then walked to the front desk. I said I was there to pick up my children and asked if maybe my ex had left a message at the desk for me. They knew nothing. I called my older son and he didn't answer. I called my ex and he didn't answer. At this point, my anxiety was bad and I felt sick. At 9, I called my lawyer and his receptionist said he would call me back. I kept calling my older son and he didn't answer. This was unusual for him. I was scared something had happened. I asked the front desk which room they were in, and they couldn't tell me, which I understood. At 9:20, I called the police. It took them a while to get there. When they arrived, it was past 10, the pickup window. I was panicking. All I could think was that my ex was going to tell the judge I was late. When the police arrived, they asked the front desk for my ex's room number. They told the police he had checked out. I didn't know what to think. They asked the front desk if they had kids with them when they left, and they said no. They said my kids were actually booked in a suite with her kids and his parents, and they had paid for late checkout. The officers told me to wait downstairs and went to the room. They came back with my kids and their stuff, and we left. My oldest said his grandfather took his phone away, and they stayed up late and had no alarm set. Both boys said their grandparents were furious when the cops showed up. My lawyer eventually called me back, and we scheduled another custody hearing for after the honeymoon. At the hearing, my ex tried to put everything on me. He said he told me the kids would be with his parents. He didn't, and that I staged the whole thing to make him look bad. He also said me calling the police traumatized the kids. I showed the judge all of our communication. The judge even interviewed my kids, who said even they didn't know they would be with their grandparents until the prior evening, by which point my oldest's phone has already been confiscated. The judge gave me primary custody with visitation and said all pickups and drop-offs will now be at neutral locations with a 30-minute window. He was done. He was pissed. My ex has filed to have our case transferred to another judge because this one is clearly biased against him. In the meantime though, the boys and I are happy and doing well. They're both getting great grades so far this year. Comments. Commenter Wow, your ex is really stupid. O.P. I think he thought I would mess up, make a scene, give up and drive away or something like that. Commenter No, instead he just abandons his kids with strangers. To them. Isn't there something in your custody agreement that says if he can't watch them, they should go to you? OOP. Their grandparents aren't strangers. They have a very close relationship. All the same, it was my custody time. They can and do visit their grandparents on his custody time. Commentaire 3. Why was the grandfather allowed to confiscate his phone? When my niece and her husband divorced, the kids having access to their phones at all times was actually hard-baked into the custody agreement. The parents could limit actual screen time, texting friends and playing games, etc., but could not take the phone away or prevent them from calling the other parent. OOP. My son said his grandfather told him he was being disruptive at the reception. My son is very well behaved, so I doubt this. Taking the phone was a punishment.